Daniel Sally here, coming to you live from the PE Center on the campus of Carroll College, or should I say the bubble at the PE Center here for today's second ball game. Of course, we just got done with MSU Northern versus LC State, and here we are right in time for Valley City State versus Carroll College as they bring in Coach Turcotte. And Coach, Carroll coming into this game 3-0, pretty impressive so far to start the year.
Well, they've played well in considering, all the COVID that everybody's gone through. They have looked like a team that's got a lot of veterans on it, which they do. They have a lot of girls that have been there, played there, and really the only new impact player, of course, is Jamie Pickens, but everybody else has been around a while.
And as we get ready to meet Carroll's starting lineups here, just a quick rundown of both teams. Starting the game for Valley City State, Allie Critchley, a sophomore guard out of Dilworth, Minnesota. Mara Nelson, a senior guard out of Carrington, North Dakota. Adriana Torres, the team's second leading scorer, a sophomore guard out of Pelican Rapids, Minnesota. Emma Nielsen, a junior guard out of Barnesville, Minnesota. And Macy Kilvang, a senior forward out of Cando, North Dakota, by way of North Dakota State University. And looking at the Carroll starting lineup, starting at guard out of Havre, Montana, a senior at 5'9", number 4, Danny Wagner. Playing forward at 5'9", senior out of Fairfield, Washington, number 10, Christine Denny. In the backcourt, she came off the bench last game, but in the starting lineup today, 5'7", junior guard out of Clancy, Montana, by way of Helena High and MSU, Camden Hilborn. Also in the backcourt at 5'9", junior guard out of 9 Mile Falls, Sienna Swanek. And rounding it out, of course, the coveted transfer from the University of Montana, the Helena High product, the former Gatorade Player of the Year, that's Jamie Pickens. And Coach Turcotte, before this game tips off, you mentioned this is going to be an interesting game for Carroll because Valley City State, the Vikings, have a ton of size where Carroll kind of plays a smaller lineup now.
Well, you don't very often play against a 6'5" girl. Macy, the Kilvang, thank you. 6'5". I mean, you don't play, see very many 6'5" centers. And, she started out at North Dakota State University, and she's leading them in scoring at 17 a game. And she is big. I mean, she towers over Jamie Pickens.
And the tip-off is going to end up in the hands of Christine Denny, and we are underway here from the PE Center. Camden Hilborn setting up the offense for the Saints. He passes it off to Wagner. Wagner off the dribble, kicks it out. Swanek pump fakes. Passes it off to Hilborn now. Hilborn now to Swanek. Swanek to Pickens. Pickens elbow jumper, and she knocks it down. Jamie Pickens, she's tall, but she can shoot too. 9.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and the Saints start with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, that's a nice, good execution of the offense right off the bat.
Swinging around, it's the Vikings three-pointer up, that time by Adriana Torres. No good, rebounded by Danny Wagner. I tell you, these Carroll teams, their guards always rebound very well, which is very, very good. As Hilborn's three is up and no good. Rebounded by Valley City State, it's Adriana Torres. She kicks it out on the outlet pass to Allie Critchley, who will set up the offense for the Vikings. There's a drive on the other end. Shot up off the glass, no good that time by Nelson. Rebounded by Hilborn. Hilborn pushing in transition. She kicks Denny to Swanek for three. And that one's in and out, no good. But it's tipped in by Christine Denny. A nice another bucket there for the Saints, 4-0. They lead. Viking basketball as they push it across the timeline. Looking inside, Pickens knocks it loose. Denny tries to save it from going out of bounds, but it's last touch by the Saints as it nicks that line there, and it'll be Viking basketball in the near sideline. Running point, it's Allie Critchley. Critchley defended by Hilborn. She passes it around the key over to Nelson. Nelson looks to drive, kicks, three-pointer up, and it's not going to matter if it goes in because an offensive foul is called on the Vikings. Carroll will get it back with a chance to add on to this 4-0 lead here. 8:20 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, I didn't see that foul. It must have been an illegal screen foul on Torres, who is their leading rebounder. She's 11 rebounds a game for them.
Denny inbounds, and it'll be Hilborn taking the ball up the court for the Saints. Camden Hilborn out of Helena High, works her way towards the far side, passes it off to Denny. Denny on the elbow, Passes it back off to Hilborn. Hilborn drives, puts up a little scoop shot off the glass, and good for Camden Hilborn. 6-0. Saints off to a quick start in this one. Vikings work it down to the other end. With it is Critchley. Critchley defended by Hilborn on the edge. She looks to kick it out, and a foul called this time on the Saints. Camden Hilborn will get called for that one.
Camden Hilborn, her first, team first, out of bounds.
An interesting Hilborn in the starting lineup. It was Lyman last week,
I
so
think
they're very flexible there.
I think they're going to trade off, you know, at least the first part of the season until they figure out, you know, what's the best way to go with.
Yeah, what they're most comfortable with. Missed shot on the other end by Valley City State. Swanwick with an over-shoulder pass to Jamie Pickens. Pickens bringing it down like a wide receiver, and she gets the bucket in transition. An 8-0 run for the Saints to start off the ballgame. 7.5 minutes left in the first. Carroll off to a very hot start. Drive from the other end. Kick outside. With it is Critchley. Critchley defended by Hilborn. Critchley trying to drive by Hilborn. Nice defense by Camden, but she fouls Critchley on the shot.
Ooh,
that'll send Critchley to the line for 2.
And Camden's going to have to go out. That's her second foul. I didn't see a lot of contact there.
Now she was up.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, it's 8-0 Carroll lead, and Critchley will go to the line to shoot. And Carroll Athletics would like to thank some of our corporate sponsors for their support of Saints Athletics. Helena Sand and Gravel, Dick Anderson Construction, Capital Collision Center, Rutgers Furniture, Lewis and Clark Brewing Company, Northwestern Energy, and Stockman Bank, as the first free throw is up and good for Critchley. So I have one more, and that one's good. So both of them in for Critchley. And that'll put the Vikings on the board for the first time as they trail 8-2. 7 minutes, 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Denny inside kicks it out. Pickens wide open for 3, and she buries it. You give her that one, she's going to knock it down every time. Nice job there by Denny, drawing attention, getting Pickens open and kicking it out to her open teammate.
Exactly.
As the Vikings work it down to the other end. Nielsen with it. She passes it off to Macy Kilvang, the leading scorer for the Vikings. Inside, it's Jane Lyman knocking it loose. That's a steal for the Saints. Lyman pushing it in transition. Drives, kicks, Wagner, pump fakes, and they call her for a travel there. What do you think, Coach Turcotte? I didn't quite get a good look at that.
Yeah, she didn't quite come down. When she catches it, you got to hit on 2, or the referee, if he sees something funny, he's going to call traveling. So it's a good reminder for Danny.
Taking it up the court, it's Valley City. Move it around. With it is Nielsen. She passed it off to Kilvang. Kilvang near side, guarded by Pickens up top, and a foul called on Jamie Pickens.
Now the referees that are refereeing this game, they didn't watch that first game because they're calling everything. Any kind of contact, any kind of touching, they're calling it.
For perspective, the first game there were 4 fouls, I believe, in the whole first half.
Yes.
Well, here we are. Let me do some math here. We are 3 minutes and 43 seconds into this one, and there's already 4 fouls.
Yeah. So what you have to do as a player, you have to adjust. You just have to adjust. How's the game being called?
Kilvang swings it around. With it is Nielsen. Nielsen, far side. Passes it back to the middle of the key to Nelson. Nelson looks to drive, and it's knocked out of bounds. Carroll will get it back. Nice turnover forced there by the Saints. 11-2, 6:04 left in the first quarter. Nice start to this game for Coach Sayers and her girls. Hoping they all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, just like everyone out there tuning in from wherever you may be as Swanwick drives in. Pull-up jumper off the rim, no good. Rebounded by the Vikings. Nielsen in transition, works to the near side, passes it off to Schwanke, and a travel on Schwanke, so that'll be a turnover. Carroll will get the ball back and a sub in some more height entering the game at 6'4" out of Watts, California. It's Nia Ulmer checking in for Valley City State. Be interesting to see how the Saints play this with running a one big lineup with Garrett's at the 5. It's Denny with it. She drives in and passes it out to Jaden Lyman. Lyman out to Denny. Denny back inside to Garrett's. Garrett's puts it on the ground. Little move up off the glass. No good. Nice move to the hoop there by Garrett's, but she can't get it to fall. Wagner gets the offensive board, draws the foul, and she will go to the line to shoot 2.
And I did like the move by Garrett's. I did like the way she caught the ball, took her time, felt where her defender was, made a good positive move. The ball just didn't go in, but it was a good move.
Nice body control, too.
Yep.
A little underneath there. It's very impressive. And Garrett's is someone we see continue to get better year to year.
Well, she had 17 points in the last game there. I mean,
wonderful.
I didn't realize that. I was looking at the box score.
Man, you're like, wow, impressive. Of course, Garrett's with a new look this year. We're at number 44 instead of number 5 that she made so famous last season as Wagner misses her free throw. And looks like a lane violation on Valley City State. So Wagner's second free throw, no good. So she'll get a chance to retake that one.
She gets a chance for a hat trick here.
How about it? One's up, and it's good.
She's a good free throw shooter.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
She does a lot of things well. Shooting, rebounding, passing, dribbling, free throws, you name it. Wagner in her senior campaign, of course, 5th season in the program, redshirted as a freshman here at Carroll. And, of course, the younger sister to former national champion quarterback Gary Wagner.
That's right.
Good friend of ours. Valley City State with the ball. They go inside. Mid-range jumper up. That's no good from Ulmer. Rebounded by Garrett. She hands it off to Denny. Denny pushing in transition, and now she will slow it down. Denny off to Lyman. Lyman top of the key. It over to Danny Wagner. Wagner to Garrett's now. Garrett's open look from the elbow. She'll take that shot. It's no good. Rebounded by Valley City. With it up the court is Nielsen. Nielsen passes it off. With it now is Schwanke. Her shot is up. No good. Rebounded by Lyman. Lyman pushing in transition. She slows it down. Kicks it over to McDermott. McDermott takes it off the dribble. Pulls it back now to Garrett's. Garrett's pump fakes, drives, nice move, but she loses the ball out of bounds. Last touch by Carroll. It'll be Valley City basketball. And checking in Emma Madsen for Carroll. 12-2.
And Carroll now with 4 subs, and the only starter now in for Carroll is Danny Wagner. So Coach Michelle Sayers getting her bench involved early in this one.
And that's the glory of having a player like Jaden Lyman who you can bring off the bench.
Yeah.
Just like we always say, she's just another starter. Valley City basketball. With it is Torres. Torres with the entry pass. Kilvang, spin move off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Lyman. Lyman in transition. She'll slow down, get a high pick from Garrett. Little pick and pop to Garrett for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded by the Vikings. So sort of a pause in scoring in this ballgame as the score is still at 12-2.
Well, Maddie can make those shots, and we saw last week what she can do. She's off to a little slow start here today.
Kilvang up on the wing. Entry pass to Schwanke, who puts it up off the glass, and that one is good for 2.
And that's their first field goal.
Yes, 2 free throws and 1 field goal for the Vikings as they trail 12-4, 8-point deficit with 3:20 remaining here in the first quarter. McDermott to Garrett's inside, finds a cutting Wagner. She puts it up, no good, gets her own rebound, puts it back up. That's no good as well. And a timeout called by Coach Vanessa Johnson of Valley City. With 3:10 remaining in the first quarter, it's 12-4. And Carroll with a hot start offensively have slowed down a little bit. They're getting their looks, but some of them just aren't quite falling right now for the Saints.
Yeah, they're getting the same shots that they were getting. They're just, like you said, they're not going down. And some of that's because the starters aren't in. Danny Wagner's the only starter and she just had a couple of pretty good looks there, which she normally would make one of the 2 of them. But Valley City has not had very many good looks. Carroll defense been pretty dominating. Be interesting to see what Coach does to come trying after the timeout here, what she runs, if she's got a favorite set that she likes.
Carroll Athletics would like to thank our corporate champions for their incredible support of Saints Athletics and our incredible student athletes. Lithia, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge of Helena, and Chevrolet Buick GMC of Helena, a Lithia store. U.S. Bank, the Independent Record, First Interstate Bank, Placer Motors, Subaru, Ascent Bank, and Opportunity Bank of Montana. A foul called on Swanwick out of the timeout. First personal for Swanwick, 4th team on the Saints, but the Vikings will inbound from the baseline. 2:57 remaining here in the first quarter. Over the top, they look for Kilvang. It's knocked loose and hits the backboard. Nice job by McDermott deflecting the inbound there. Swanwick comes up with the steal. She pushes, kicks to McDermott. Now Madsen with it at the top of the key. Madsen gives it off to Swanwick. Now Pickens on the elbow. Pickens back to Swanwick. Now Lyman. Lyman stops on a dime, pulls it back, and loses the ball. It's on the ground. A tie-up jump ball possession arrow will favor the Vikings, so that's a turnover by the Saints.
Good defense that time by Valley City. They defended that well all the way through.
Taking it up the court for Valley City State, Allie Critchley, the point guard out of Dilworth, Minnesota. A lot of people from Minnesota on this Valley City State roster, of course. The Midwest ties out there as that ball is knocked around and tipped out of bounds. Carroll will get it back. I was telling you over the phone this week, Coach, that my memory of Valley City State, the last time I watched one of their teams play was 2014 in the NAIA football playoffs. They came to Nelson Stadium and played the Carroll Fighting Saints, led by quarterback Mac Roach, running back Dustin Rinker, and of course linebacker Sean Bloomquist, and their right tackle, my older brother Dominic Sally. So it was a fun day here at Nelson.
Those were the days.
November days.
Those were the days. Carroll probably beat them pretty good.
Oh, yes, they did. I wasn't going to mention that.
Well, Carroll in those days they were running over people.
Oh, yeah, quite literally, especially when you got a guy like Dustin Rinker in the backfield.
Yeah.
A foul called there on Valley City State, so Lyman will inbound from the baseline.
And Renee Pounds in for Valley City.
Inbounding it's Lyman. Lyman to Swanek. Nice jab step by Swanek. She gets herself an open look. A jumper, and it's good, and that's just another demonstration of how athletic and talented Sienna Swanek is.
Yeah. She got that middle game.
Got it locked down. Entry pass denied by Pickens, knocked out of bounds, and that's a nice job by Pickens there, getting in position to deny ball.
And good help side defense by Emma Madsen. You know, it's hard to beat Carroll when you're lobbing it from the wing.
Three-pointer up on the other end, no good. Rebounded by Lyman, and Lyman will push it in transition for the Saints. Lyman off to the races. She dumps it off to McDermott. Now Pickens. Pickens thinks about the three. Pump fakes and gets called for the travel. Took that step a little too soon before she put the ball on the ground. So that'll be another turnover. However, the Saints still hold on to their 10-point lead, 14-4, with 1 minute, 42 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Vikings with the basketball, looking for an open shot. Saints doing a very nice job containing them defensively early on in this contest. Pull-up jumper, that one is no good from Adriana Torres. Rebounded by Madsen. Madsen outlet pass to Lyman. Lyman takes up the floor, gets to Madsen. Madsen, a dangerous outside shooter, but before she gets the shot up, it looks like she drove that
might
foot.
be the 5th travel call against Carroll this quarter.
I believe off the top of the head, there's one Wagner. Jamie just had one. Emma just had one. I mean, they're happening quick.
That's the 5th one. And the referees that just look like they're really looking at your feet, so you better slow down.
Yeah. Got to proceed with caution. Must be another point of emphasis this season for the officials as Valley City misses another.
You know, some referee crews really watch the feet, and some don't. This crew does.
I've gotten too used to watching the NBA.
Yeah.
Lyman drives, picks up her dribble, gets it out to Madsen. Madsen at the top of the key for the Saints. Now with it is McDermott. 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Saints. It's Pickens now with it. Pickens takes an elbow jumper, and that one is good. Jamie Pickens with another bucket. A nice first quarter for that young lady out of Helena High. 38 seconds left in the first. Viking basketball. They move it around. Here's a drive from Nelson.
Oh, that's great defense there by
nice
Jamie Pickens.
Charge taken by Jamie Pickens.
I watched that whole series, and she just is jumping to the ball, beating her to the spot, and that time took the charge. Very, very good stuff. And I know that they haven't been able to work much on defense just because, you know, I'm close to the coaching staff there because of all the COVID and missed practices, but you never know it from watching Jamie that time.
No kidding. Very impressive.
Yeah.
Jamie Pickens, the former Lady Grizz turned Carroll College Saint, coming back home to play for Coach Sayers. 17 seconds left here in the quarter. Wonder if the Saints will play for last shot. Pickens with a nice backdoor pass, unreal.
And a great cut by Sienna, and then a
18-4.
spin move underneath.
Excellent basketball being played by Carroll. There's a pull-up three, that time no good from Anjanae Pounds, and that'll do it for the first quarter, 18-4. And before we take a break here, Coach Turcotte, real quick, I mean, Jamie Pickens, her passing up to this point has been almost the most impressive part of her game.
Well, it really is. You know what? One of the things I think about Jamie is that she played for Eric Peterson in high school, and they ran kind of a dribble drive offense, and Jamie didn't just play like at the low post where she would have dominated every high school game. Eric used her kind of as an alley player, and he also put her on the perimeter to develop her total game. So when you look at Jamie now, her back to the basket game is a little bit behind where you think it would be, but the rest of her game is way ahead of where you think it would be. I mean, her passing, her footwork, her perimeter shooting, it's very impressive. I mean, very impressive.
We're going to take a quick breather. We'll have the second quarter coming up next here. 18-4, the Saints lead. Back after the break, second quarter action here from the PE Center. Daniel Sally with Coach Gary Turcotte as the Saints lead 18-4 early on in this ball game. Wilkinson newly into the game as she gets the ball from Wagner and knocks it in for two. 20-4. The Saints lead up to a game-high 16 points.
And that's a nice set that Rochelle Sayers called coming out of a timeout, or at the end of the quarter.
Vikings with the basketball. Tamara Nelson. Nelson over to the wing. Now it's Torres. Torres pump fakes, puts it up, and it's a travel. That's another travel called in this ball game.
Yeah, there.
Saints get the ball back, 20-4.
I think Carroll's had 5, and maybe that might be 3, maybe 4 on Valley City.
They're starting to push double digits.
Yeah.
Swanek at the top of the key as it's Swanek, Wilkinson, Denny, Wagner, and Lyman out there. And a nice move on the block by Christine Denny, puts it up off the glass and in for two. Critchley up the court for the Vikings. They swing it around. Now it's Torres. Torres, far wing, gets up to the top with Dieterle. Looking for a cross-court pass. Swanek knocks it loose, but it goes out of bounds. It'll stay with the Vikings. 17 seconds on the shot clock. Critchley calls the play. Passes it off to the wing. Nice closeout by Lyman on Nielsen. Nielsen tries to drive, kicks. Valley City struggling to find a good shot. They throw it out of bounds. Another turnover forced by the Saints.
I can't quite tell what Valley City's trying to do right now. It's kind of like a dribble drive kind of offense, but they're just, the Carroll defense right now is just not letting them breathe.
Lyman up the court. That's one thing that comes with the depth of Carroll's team is they always got fresh legs out there for their on-ball defending. Ball's tipped out of bounds. Carroll will inbound from their baseline here.
I think he had a foul. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, he did. I think he had a foul on.
Wagner will go to the line then.
It's just interesting for our listeners. The game is being called completely differently than the first game, and all of these referees that worked both these games are good. The referees crews are really good. It's just that what you have to do as a player and as a coach, you have to adjust to how each individual referee group is going to call the game. And it's the first game, all that incidental contact, there were no calls, no traveling calls. This game, we've got about 8, 9 traveling calls. And
also no moving screens in this game.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a cut by Valley City State. I should mention Wagner missed one of her 2 free throws at the line there on the other end. But I tell you, we're almost 12 minutes into this game, and Valley City State has 4 points.
Yeah.
Very nice defensive effort so far by the Carroll College Fighting Saints. And I feel like that's something these teams have been known for in the last few years, girls and guys for Carroll. They've always been sound defensive basketball teams. And another turnover by Valley City State. Genesis Wilkinson coming back door and knocking that one out. They get it up to Wagner in transition. She takes a 3, back rim, no good. Rebound, Wilkinson, and one. Genesis Wilkinson puts it off the glass.
Tough shot.
Wilkinson will step to the line with a chance for a 3-point play. And before Wilkinson takes her free throw, Carroll Athletics would like to thank some of our corporate sponsors for their support of Saints Athletics: 360 Office Solutions, Auto Trick Signs and Graphics, Montana City Grill, Northwestern Energy, as Wilkinson knocks down a free throw, Red Dog Painting, St. Peter's Health, and Pepsi. 26-4, the Saints lead now at 22 points, their highest of the ball game. Valley City State with it. Emma Nielsen drives, looks to put it up. It's stolen by Wagner. Another turnover by the Saints as Wagner's off to the races in transition. Gets it over to Swanek. Swanek thinks about the three. Instead, she'll look inside for Wilkinson. Pass a little off target there as it's knocked loose by Kilvane and stolen by Valley City State. Three-pointer up on the other end. No good off the rim. That was Danny Schwanke with the three. Wagner in transition off her own rebound. Kicks it to Lyman. Deep three. No good. Rebounded by Kilvane. Did you tell I was a little excited there, Coach?
Well, we know Jaden can hit those. I mean, she can hit like NBA threes.
Jaden trying to close out in the passing lane, and instead it ends up in the hands of Allie Critchley, who beats her back door, and a foul called on the Saints. Critchley will go to line to shoot two.
First, Mara Nelson in for Valley City, shooting 2 free throws. Allie Critchley.
Critchley at the line. First one up, and she knocks it down. So 5 points now for Valley City State. 3 free throws and 1 field goal.
Yeah.
Looking to make it an even 6 here as Critchley steps to the line for her second. Critchley shot up and off the rim, no good. Danny will get the rebound. Outlet pass to Lyman. Lyman will work up the court now for the Saints. Jaden Lyman gets the pick from Denny. Now to Wilkinson. Wilkinson thinks about the outside shot, and another travel called there, and Wilkinson kind of took a little hesitation step with that left foot.
It'll be interesting, you know, when Coach Sayers looks at the video to see how many of those are travels, how many of them are phantom travels.
Well, timeout.
That one might have been a phantom travel there. I sure didn't see it.
Well, timeout call on the floor. We're going to step away briefly. We'll be back here in about a minute as Carroll leads 26-5. Back from the timeout, 26-5. Carroll leads Valley City State here in game 2 of today's doubleheader. 6:45 left in the first half. Here's a drive, shot up, little reverse shot there from Danny Schwanke.
Valley City just can't get anything to drop. They are getting some quality shots now, but they're just not dropping.
Danny gets the rebound as the Saints move in transition. Swanek's three is good. And we talked a lot last week about how Swanek's three-point jumper has really improved.
Yeah, she's just playing really well.
Valley City basketball as there's a drive here from Nelson. Nelson's shot, that's no good. Another rebound by the Saints. Swanek pushing in transition. She kicks it out. Lyman open look from three. Oh, that one's no good. It looked good. It was online, just a little long. Wagner with the offensive rebound. She gets it out to Swanek. There's a three from Swanek, and that one's no good.
Rebound, Mara Nelson.
Nelson will pull it down, get it out to her teammate, and it'll be Critchley with it on the near corner. She passes it up to Kilvang. Kilvang, Critchley. Critchley drives, picks up her dribble. Nice backdoor pass. Good ball move as they go inside for Kilvang. That's stolen by Lyman. Lyman in transition. She goes up for it, and it's good for two. And how about that? 5'3", Jaden Lyman, guarding 6'5", facing Kilvang and coming up with the steal.
And Jaden is so strong and quick. It's tough to post her up. It is.
Ball is tipped around and ends up in the hands of the Vikings. With it is Nielsen. Nielsen inside, Kilvang. Kilvang yet to score in today's game. Of course, through 2 games, averaging 17 points per contest.
That was a pretty good shot she had there. It's just nothing's going down.
Danny for 3, and that one's no good. Saints struggling a little bit from outside as Danny gets her own rebound, puts it up off the glass, and that one's good.
Ooh.
Timeout called.
Timeout, Carroll College.
Full timeout. So we'll go ahead and take a break as Carroll leads 33-5 with about 5 minutes left here in the first half. Back here at the PE Center, Daniel Sally joined by Gary Turcott. 33-5, Carroll College in the lead over Valley City State in what's been a marvelous showing from Coach Sayers and her girls. Very impressive to say the least. They lead by 28 early on. 4:50 remaining in the first half. Vikings with it out of the timeout. They find Kilvang. Kilvang elbow jumper. That's no good. She's still yet to score.
Just can't make one, and that's a pretty good look she had there.
Madsen on the wing. Now inside she goes to Pickens. Pickens, nice move. And that one's no good, but a nice move to the hoop there by Pickens, selling it with her eyes like she was going to pass it out, then going backdoor with a spin. To the other end, it's Andrene Pounds. She goes up with a floater on the baseline, no good. Rebound, Emma Madsen. Madsen to Hilborn, and Hilborn will run the point for the Saints. Camden Hilborn over to Madsen. Coach Sayers calls out the play.
And Valley City jumped into a zone, so Carroll's going to go to their zone offense here.
Pickens kicks. Swanek in the corner, gets it up top to Hilborn. 9 on the shot clock. Open look for Swanek from 3, and it's good. Sienna Swanek buries it.
Boy, she's just been deadly from that three-point line the last 2 games.
And how about this? First half Saints lead by 31.
Woof.
A nice pass from Kilvang to set up a bucket. That was Mara Nelson there for
And a
Valley
nice
City
cut
State.
by Nelson. Yeah, they keep the floor real spread and then cut hard to the basket. That time it was effective.
Hilborn to the wing. She goes inside to Pickens. Pickens, nice backdoor pass to Wagner. Easy bucket for the Saints. And 2 possessions into that zone offense. Our offense, it's going pretty well.
Well, you're talking about what a good passer Pickens is, and you're right.
It's noticeable.
Yeah.
When she was in high school, she used to get the rebound, and I mean those Helena High teams with the Osved twins and Vanessa Walsh. I mean, she would look, and I mean when Camden played with her too.
Yep.
She would. I mean, I remember making an analogy comparing her to Aaron Rodgers in a crosstown basketball game because she threw the ball across the court and dropped it in the basket for an easy bucket. I mean, she can do it from all over the floor. It's very impressive. Turnaround move. That's no good. That time from Nielsen, rebounded by Wagner. Wagner in transition. She gets it up to Hilborn. Hilborn, Wagner inside to Pickens. Pickens posting up, little baby hook, and that one's good.
Now that's the stuff that she needs to keep getting better and better at, because she just hasn't had a lot of opportunity to do that. The Grizzlies didn't use her much inside.
Andrene Pounds with it up top. Now Kilvang, little face
There she
up
goes.
move, jumper, and that's her first bucket of the game.
Yeah, there she goes.
Nice move there to square up and take that jumper.
Well, she's averaging 17 a game. You know she can score.
Yeah. Wagner. Now to Hilborn. Hilborn far side. Emma Madsen. Madsen takes the dribble and passes out to Swanek. Swanek to Pickens. Pickens on the elbow. Out to Swanwick. Swanwick gets a screen from Pickens in the moving screen there.
Yeah.
So
They won't let you do that.
No.
That's a good call.
Maybe she had her elbow out a little
Yeah.
too wide.
You got to come to a full stop if you're going to set a screen in the way the game is being called now. A full 2-foot stop, or they're going to call a foul.
I think that's a result of the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, and it's consistent. It is consistent. So
40-9. The Saints in a commanding position here in the driver's seat. 2 minutes, 8 seconds left here in the second quarter. It's Critchley with it. Guarded by Hilborn on the outside. Hilborn playing nice on the ball defense. Kilvang sets the screen. They get it outside. It's Schwanke. Schwanke looks for her teammate. Hilborn comes up with the steal. Hilborn in transition, drives, puts it up, and that one's no good, but Camden Hilborn draws the contact. That'll send her to the line for 2 free throws.
And we've seen Camden do that before. She loves to play those passing lanes, pick off steals, and she's a good finisher.
It's hard to find a better on-ball defender in the conference
Yeah.
than Camden Hilborn. Olsen and McDermott in the game for the Saints. Kyle Olsen got her first action
And
last
she played well
weekend
last week.
and played very well.
Yes, she did.
Hilborn's free throw is up, and that one's good. Hilborn will shoot one more at the stripe. Thanks again to everyone spending their Thanksgiving weekend, their Black Friday with us here on the Carroll Athletics live stream as Hilborn hits them both. We're wishing you all a very happy Thanksgiving and hope that everyone is staying safe out there. Kilvang on the elbow, guarded by Garrett. Backdoor pass, layup, and that one is good. That's Emma Nielsen, 42-11 now the score with 1:25 left in the half. Coach Sayers calls out the play. Hilborn gets it across the court. Now to Kyle Olsen she goes. Olsen, redshirt freshman out of Three Forks, passes it off to Garrett. Garrett's now to Hilborn. Hilborn kicks it over to Madsen on the wing, and Madsen sends it inside to Garrett. Garrett with a couple dribbles from the block. Her shot is no good, but blocked out of bounds, so Carroll will keep it with 10 seconds left on the shot clock.
Kilvang with a nice block there, kept her ground. 6'5". It's hard to shoot over 6'5".
Hilborn inside, she goes to Garrett. Garrett's nice backdoor pass to McDermott, who kicks it to Olsen for 3. Off the rim, no good. Nice look for the Saints there. Couldn't quite get it to fall. As the Vikings get it across the court, Kilvang has it up top, looking for the wing, and we got a foul.
And he got Molly McDermott pushing, trying to displace the post player.
Foul on Molly McDermott, her first team third out of bounds, Vikings.
Inbounding the ball for the Vikings, Danny Schwanke. Mid-range jumper up, and that one is good. Dieterle knocks it down. That's her first bucket of the ball game. Dieterle, a forward out of Valley City, North Dakota. Madsen with it inside. She kicks it out. Olsen will pump fake, drives, passes it back out to Madsen. Now Hilborn with the ball. 10 seconds on the game clock, 24 on the shot clock.
Oh,
Correction,
tour.
10 on the shot clock, 24 on the game clock, I meant. As Hilborn drives, puts it off the glass, and that one is good. Now 15 seconds left in the half.
Nice finish by Camden there.
Vikings will likely play for the last shot here. Schwanke. She passed it off, and it's stolen by Olsen. Olsen to Hilborn. Hilborn will pull up in transition. Oh, and no, she will not. Lost track of time. But your score at the half, 44-13. Carroll in the driver's seat. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to go ahead and look at the stats, talk about the first half a little bit, and who knows, maybe look ahead at tomorrow's contest as well. So you're listening to Carroll Basketball on the Carroll Athletics YouTube stream. Back here in the PE Center, Daniel Sally joined by Coach Gary Turcotte. And 44-13 is your score at halftime. Carroll leads Valley City in what I would describe as an absolute masterclass by the Saints in the first half. Very impressive showing by Coach Sayers and her girls, as they lead now by 31. Coach Turcotte, anything jump off the stat sheet for you?
Well, they do. You know, and thinking about that half and Valley City from their point of view, they just didn't make any shots. You know, they shot 5 for 24 from the field, 0 for 5 from the 3. And I'm not telling you they were all good shots, but there were some. There were certainly more opportunities to score that they just didn't make. The ball just didn't drop. And, you know, this is only their third game. Valley City's a long ways away from here. And it looks like they're feeling it that half. Now, I think they're better than what they showed. I really do. I think they'll play a lot better the second half. And Carroll, you know, they're starting 5. I mean, Jamie Pickens is 5 for 6 from the field. Christine Denny is 3 for 4 from the field. Camden Hilborn is 2 for 3 from the field. And Sienna Swanek is 4 for 7. So Carroll just made shots. Valley City just missed shots. Did Carroll get better shots? Yeah, they did, but not to the extent that would explain a 44-13 difference. I don't think there's that much difference between the teams. I just think that Valley City's just they've got to settle down and get their target and make some shots.
And I tell you, I mean, we talked about this a little before the game, but the depth of this Carroll team, when they come out defensively and with the bench unit they have, they can keep throwing fresh legs at you.
Yeah.
And defensively, that adds up, and it just shows with the way they can sub at such a rapid pace and continue to not miss a beat defensively.
Yeah, they certainly did that half. And then coming off the bench, you know, I thought Genesis Wilkinson, she did a nice job. She was 2 for 2 from the field, the 5 minutes that she played. And of course, Jaden Lyman, you always get a ton out of her. You know, she goes 1 for 3 and comes up with 4 rebounds. So, you know, real well balanced, great half by Carroll, disappointing half by Valley City. I know Valley City can play better than they did that half. And I think we'll see it this half.
And you mentioned Jen Wilkinson, and she's a player that, you know, obviously this Carroll team has a ton coming back, both starters and bench players from last season. But I asked Coach Sayers last week before the game in her interview, I said, you know, is there any new faces that people are going to need to get used to that they should expect to see a lot from this year? And she had a lot of very nice things to say about Genesis Wilkinson. And of course, we saw her come in and right away makes a nice move to the basket, gets a bucket, had a couple nice moves from the block. There's still some things she needs to clean up on. Obviously, she's a very young player. You know, she had the travel there on the wing, but a lot to be happy about right now if you're the Carroll College Fighting Saints.
Daniel, Genesis Wilkinson and Kyle Olson.
Yes.
You know, they both came in the same class, and Kyle redshirted, but Genesis played some last year, not a lot. But both of those girls, what I see in both of those girls is a lot of offensive talent. I mean, real significant talent. Where they have trouble and struggle is at the defensive end. They got to get better defensively to play in the big games and the conference games. If you get to a national tournament type of thing, that's where they need to really get their focus. And a lot of defense is just focus. It's really locking down and paying attention to what you're doing, listening to your coaches, and being determined to be a good defensive player. And both of those girls, when they start doing that, they're going to get more and more playtime because they're good. Offensively, they're both pretty good.
So earlier today we had hold on, where'd the score go? I just had it. 75-66, I believe, was the final in that first game. 75-66, LC State with the win over Northern. Tomorrow, this Valley City State team that we just watched will play Northern in the first game, and Carroll will play LC State in the second game. And, you know, I'm excited to see what Northern brings to the table tomorrow because we kind of saw a tale of two halves from them. But what I'm really excited for is Carroll taking on LC State, just because these two teams, they both have so much back from last year. They had 3 great matchups last season, with Carroll winning both of the games in Lewiston, but LC beating them here at the PE Center. So I'm really excited to see two teams, two coaches that are so familiar with each other going toe-to-toe tomorrow afternoon.
Well, good point. Carroll was picked to win the Frontier, and LC State was picked to win the Cascade. So you're looking at.
Makes you wonder what would have happened if they were both still in the Frontier.
Yeah. So you're looking at two pretty high-powered basketball teams. It should be really interesting tomorrow to see. LC State could definitely push Carroll, no doubt about it. I usually feel, Daniel, when watching LC Carroll, that LC usually has a little edge in overall size, length, talent sometimes, and Carroll, is able to win some games. They kind of out-grit them and out-hustle them, out-rebound them at crunch time. But I think this time that I don't think I could say that LC's got more talent than Carroll.
No, it's
not
tough
this
to
time.
top how much talent Carroll has this season.
Not this time.
Well, we're going to go ahead and step aside one more time. In about 3.5 minutes, we'll come back, have the second half ready for you as Carroll leads 44-13 here in day one of Carroll basketball weekend here over Thanksgiving. 44-13, Saints in the lead. We'll talk to you in a few. Daniel Sally back here with Gary Turcotte for second half action. Carroll College leads Valley City State 44-13. Once again, a special thanks to everyone out there tuned in and watching and listening. Hope you all had a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving, and we appreciate you for joining us here on the web to watch some basketball like we all love to do. Valley City State will start with the ball out of the second half. They go to the corner with it is Nielsen. Nielsen inside. Kilvang back out. Now inside to Kilvang again. Something tells me they're going to try and give Kilvang a lot of touches. But that time it doesn't go as planned as Jamie Pickens ends up with the steal. Pickens in transition. She'll hand it off to Hilborn, who will set up the offense. Hilborn passes it over to the wing. Swanek inside to Pickens. Pickens, backdoor pass. Denny off the glass, no good. 44-13 remains the score. Nice set there by the Saints. Just no points to show for it as they make their way back down to the other end of the court. It's Viking basketball. Another steal, this time by Hilborn. Hilborn pushes in transition. Nice backdoor pass to Pickens, back to Denny. Denny on the baseline, pump fakes outside to Swanek. She goes. Swanek back inside to Denny. Denny up and under, no good off the glass. So a couple good looks for Christine Denny, but can't get him to fall early on in this third quarter. Viking basketball, here's a drive, shot up off the glass, no good that time. It was Mara Nelson. Wagner comes up with the rebound. Wagner in transition, gets it over to Swanek. Swanek pump fakes, passes out to Denny. Denny will slow it down and pass it out to Hilborn. Fast-paced third quarter thus far. About 90 seconds in here. Saints still lead by 31. Swanek. Wagner inside to Pickens. Foul called. Who are they going to get for that one? That'll be on Kilvang. So interesting development there is it's Kilvang's third foul. So offensively, she hasn't had her best game, but now she's got 3 fouls.
That didn't look like much there.
It's the difference of 2 games, huh?
Yeah.
Hilborn to inbound, gets it to Pickens, back out to Hilborn and back inside to Pickens. Pickens posting up on the block, goes around, up and under, off the glass, no good, gets her own rebound. Pickens off the glass again. Saints finding their shot but can't get him to fall as Wagner ends up with the rebound and the Saints will take it back out to set up the offense. It's Christine Denny now at the top of the key. Denny calls for some motion. Looks for Wagner. Wagner fumbles the ball around and it's stolen by Valley City State. Critchley up the court. Over to Kilvang. Kilvang, top of the key. Mid-range J, no good. Very long 2 attempt there. Denny comes up with the rebound and gets it over to Hilborn. Hilborn. Now Denny. Denny over to Hilborn. Hilborn, far side on the wing. Gets it to Swanek. Long 2 from Swanek. Off the rim, no good. So the Saints struggling to score. No points from either team early in this third quarter. Denny on the block. Passes it back out to Hilborn. Now Pickens. Pickens likes the 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Valley City State. So a couple tries at it there for Carroll, but nothing to show for it as we're almost 3 minutes into the half and no scores so far from either team as a missed lay-in by Valley City State results in a Pickens rebound. Pickens gives it to Denny, who moves it up the court quickly. Back to Pickens. Now it's Hilborn. She passes it back to Denny. Denny inside. Jamie Pickens on the block, posting up on Kilvang. Gets it out to Hilborn for 3. And that one's good, and the Saints get their first bucket of the half. It's only a matter of time, Coach.
Well, they came out cold, no question.
Steal by
Nice.
Danny Wagner. Yeah. That's 3 turnovers forced by Carroll early on in this third quarter. Wagner drives, kicks, looking for Hilborn. It's stolen this time by Adriana Torres. Torres up the floor quickly. She passes it off to her teammate. We continue to move the ball around, and this time a foul.
Foul on Danny Wagner.
They'll get Wagner for that. A couple hard falls there. I heard that
Nice.
hard with thud.
Good execution of the screen roll there by Valley City. I think they should do that more. And maybe they will the second half. Having Kilvang going out and set an on-ball screen and then have her roll to the basket, if you switch that, you got a real mismatch.
First free throw up.
And
no
I don't
good
think
from
Carroll will
Kilvang.
try to switch that. It's just too big of a mismatch.
Yeah.
But as much as they're struggling offensively, that could be a good go-to for them the second half.
Kilvang will take another, and she makes both free throws.
Taryn Dieterle in for Valley City.
And Kilvang with 3 fouls, take her out for a little bit, I guess.
Hilborn running the floor for the Saints. Picked up at half court. She passed it off to Madsen, who recently checked in. Madsen over to Swanek. Swanek now Denny. Denny, top of the key, kicks. Madsen would have had open look, but bobbled it a little bit, so she drives instead. Misses a lane. It's rebounded by Pickens off the glass and good for 2.
That could have been an and one right there.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Pickens with 13 points now in the contest. To go with 4 rebounds. Seems low. Here's a drive. Runner, no good. That was Allie Critchley going to the hoop for that one. Believe they got Madsen for the foul. Correction, Swanek being called for the foul.
Seconds, 2 free throws for Allie Critchley.
Critchley at the line, and before she takes her first free throw, Carroll Athletics would like to thank some of our corporate sponsors for their support of Saints Athletics: Bud Light and Eagle Beverage, Ascension Physical Therapy, Rocky Mountain Credit Union, Wendy's, Clark's Plumbing and Heating, Helena Sand and Gravel, Jolene Lloyd, Century 21 Realtor, and the Montana Radio Company. Swanek gets the rebound off the second missed free throw. First one was good for the Vikings. Hilborn. Nice pass over to Swanek. Swanek top of the key, passes it off to Denny. Denny gets the pick from Pickens. She rides, and it's good. Nice drive there by Christine Denny.
Real good change of pace, where she really slowed up, looked like she wasn't going to go, then dropped her fanny down and hit another gear. Really nice change of pace there by Christine.
Schwanke with it, she passes off, 3-pointer up, and it's good from Torres, but she's called for a travel before she shot the ball, so Saints will get it right back.
And Torres has struggled. That's got to hurt her, because she did finally hit a 3 and they called her for traveling.
That's brutal.
It is
the epitome of brutality.
It is.
It's just one of those days for Valley City State. You know, long travel. Got to play a tough opponent. As Lyman fumbles the pass thrown from Hilborn, goes right out of bounds. So Valley City State will get the ball right back. Hopefully they'll try and set up another look for Torres. Pounds taking it up. She passes it along the side over to Schwanke. Schwanke to the corner, and it's stolen by Hilborn. Hilborn, little spin move. She'll push it up the floor for the Saints. Hilborn to Wagner now. Wagner takes her dribbles, passes it off to Lyman. Lyman back to Wagner. Wagner in the corner. Inside she goes to Pickens. Pickens posts up, kicks out to Wagner for 3, and that one's no good. And a nice play by Hilborn to try and save it from out of bounds, but it's picked up by a Vikings player. It's Nielsen with it. Nielsen. Top of the key with it is Pounds now, back to Schwanke. Nielsen again over in the corner. She'll drive, put it up, off the glass, no good. Ball's tipped around, rebounded by Wagner, and Wagner, no reason wasting time. She'll slow it down, pass it over to Hilborn, and get it up the court. Hilborn to Wagner, far side now. Wagner to Pickens. Now Hilborn again. Hilborn, floater off the rim, no good. So low scoring quarter, 7-2. The Saints outscoring the Vikings here in the third. 3.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, 51-15 still the score. And that's a nice bucket there by Danny Schwanke.
And that's a 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, she came off an on ball over there and just picked it up and hit a real nice shot.
Hilborn to the other end. She passed it over to Madsen. Madsen inside Pickens, spin move off the glass, no good. She'll get her own rebound though. Pickens goes back up with it, and the gift that keeps on giving. Jamie Pickens with just a countless amount of second chances on the offensive glass. 3-pointer up from Pounds. That's blocked by Pickens. Saved by Madsen into the hands of Wagner. Wagner will pass it over to Lyman, who will take it up the floor slowly. Here's Hilborn, near side. Looking for Wagner. She throws it away. It's stolen. Schwanke to the other end, and of course, who else but Jane Lyman in transition defense to disrupt the shot. Vikings end up with a bucket. 53-20, 2:21 remaining in the third quarter. Saints sending a few players over to the scores table. It's Garrett, McDermott, Swanek heading over there. And another turnover by the Saints, looking to go over the top to Pickens, ends up out of bounds.
Well, that's 2 turnovers in a row for Camden, which is very, very unlike her.
Vikings will get it back after the subs. Wilkinson also into the game now, so pretty much a full line change for the Saints. It's now Lyman, Swanek, Garrett, Wilkinson, McDermott out on the floor. pretty long lineup out there for Coach Sayers, and that's what Molly McDermott does. She gives you that flexibility as there's a mid-range jumper up from Kilvang. No good. Swanek gets the rebound. Swanek in transition, passes it back to Lyman. Now Garrett's to Wilkinson. Wilkinson on the wing. Passes it back. Swanek for three, and that's no good. Rebounded by Wilkinson, tipped out of bounds, and saved by the Vikings. So that's a turnover by the Saints. Schwanke. Now Nielsen. Nielsen top of the key. Vikings swing it around. Pump fake, jumper up, no good. Rebound Swanek. Here's Swanek in transition. She's off to the races. Slow it down, get it to Garrett. Garrett thinks about three, decides to hold on to it. Pass it off to McDermott now. McDermott back to Garrett. Now Swanek. Swanek looking for Lyman. Pull up mid-range from Lyman. Off the rim, no good. Wilkinson comes down with the board, puts it back up off the turnaround, no good. McDermott almost comes down with another one. It tips out of bounds. Last touch by the Saints. So the Saints doing a good job on the offensive glass, but struggling to get the ball in the hoop here in this third quarter.
Not dropping.
Not dropping. But
pretty good shots. Lots of pretty good shots.
Yeah. 9-7 total score in this third quarter in favor of Carroll. And Pounds almost loses it, but comes back up with it, drives to the hoop, misses a lay-in. It's rebounded by Lyman. Lyman decides to push it in transition, goes to McDermott for three. Off the rim, no good. Rebound by Kilvang. Foul on Garrett. And that'll change the direction. It'll give it back to the Vikings.
Good to see Molly McDermott take that shot. She, in high school, was an outstanding scorer, and she can shoot. She just doesn't take very many shots but I mean, I encourage her to take more shots.
It's Viking basketball. Schwanke with it, pulls up for three. Off the rim, no good. Wilkinson gets the rebound. 25 seconds left on the game clock. Shot clock turned off. I imagine it'll be a play for the last shot type situation for the Saints, but who knows? We thought they would do that in the first half. They took the look they got, and a foul called on Valley City State. Only their second team, so will not go into the bonus here. Saints will inbound from the sideline, however, with about 13 and a half seconds.
Her first, team second, out of bounds, Carroll.
Lyman. She goes inside to Wagner. Or, excuse me, not Wagner, Garrett. I saw the 4. 8 seconds on the clock. Lyman drives, kicks back to Garrett. Garrett thinks about the 3, gets it back to Lyman. 3 seconds, deep 3 from Lyman. It's blocked by Kilvang, and that'll take us into the quarter break. 53-20. Carroll in the lead after 3. We'll be back here in about a minute with fourth quarter action from the PE Centers. Carroll leads by 33. Back for the fourth quarter. Daniel Sally here with Coach Gary Turcotte. 53-20. The Saints in the driver's seat here. It's 5 on the floor to start out the fourth. It's Swanek, Garrett, Lyman, Wilkinson, and McDermott. Swanek gets the high pick from Garrett. Picks up her dribble, passes it off to Lyman. Lyman, taking her time, goes off to Wilkinson. Wilkinson on the elbow. Out to Lyman for 3. Off the rim, no good. Rebound by Kilvang, and a foul called on Garrett. Looks like a little incidental contact got her above the neck area.
I think she actually accidentally poked Kelvang. I don't know if it got her in the eye or just in the face. Ooh, might have got her in the eye.
Getting hit in the eye and getting hit in the nose are two of the most uncomfortable places to get thumped, and I hope she's okay.
Yeah, they're gonna. She's headed over now to the Carroll trainer, who will. I think there might be a little bit of blood over there, so she's going to have to deal with that. Speaking of which, I was talking to Charlie Gross. He has nothing but good words to say about the Carroll athletic training staff. What an unbelievable job that they have done through this COVID pandemic to keep our athletes playing, keep our programs going.
Of course, Chris Ward, the head trainer, and Maisie and Jeff, her
yes.
other compadres over there, they do a very good job. I know I've always heard great things as McDermott gets an opportunity in transition. It's no good. But, high praise for them. I'm sure, their world's changed completely starting last March, and probably takes some time to adjust, but it's nice to hear that they're doing a great job as we all expected. Three-pointer up, no good. Rebound, Wilkinson. Wilkinson outlet pass to Lyman, who will push it in transition. Now Swanek. Swanek far side, pass it up top. Wilkinson. Now Lyman. Lyman. Pass it to Garrett's. Back to Lyman for three. And that one's no good. Corner three attempt from Jaden, got an open look. And we talked about how we know Jaden can shoot the three so well. Not her day shooting outside.
Well, Carroll's getting awful good looks. They're just not going down. Molly had a real good look on the break. Jaden had her look there on the three.
Vikings with the ball down on the other end now. Schwanke, she drives. Shot up, no good. Rebound, Garrett's outlet pass to Lyman. Lyman, right in point. Hands it off to Swanek. Swanek to Wilkinson now. Inside she goes to Garrett, back out to Lyman. Lyman thinks about the three, decides to hold off. Passes it over to McDermott. McDermott, now Garrett's.
Oh,
Garrett's
take that shot, Molly. Take that shot.
4 seconds on the shot clock. McDermott posting up, turn around, no good. Rebounded, and it'll be a shot clock violation.
Yeah, that's just that's Molly's shot. The shot clock's coming down. The ball's right in her shooting pocket, and she shot fakes and bounces it, and she could help this basketball team. She could help this basketball team as the year goes on, but she's got to look for her shot.
Vikings basketball as they swing it around. Three-pointer up, and that's no good. It was Emma Nielsen on the shot there. Jem Wilkinson gets the rebound, gets it up to Lyman. Now Swanek has it. Swanek gets the screen from Wilkinson. Works her way towards the middle, drives, kicks to McDermott. McDermott drives, spin move, puts it up off the glass. No good, but there's Molly McDermott looking for her shot. She'll
Looking
go
for
to
a
line
shot,
for
yeah,
two.
yeah. And she's bouncing it pretty aggressively, but she's also a girl who can catch and shoot. Legitimate three-point shooter.
53-20, Saints in the lead, and 4 of Carroll's starters will check in. It's Pickens, Denny, Hilborn, and Wagner. McDermott will stay at the line, and waiting at the scores table to take her out will be Kyle Olson. Molly McBuckets, as they call her. Still, her finest moment so far was still her half-court shot last year at LC State.
That's right.
Into the half.
That was wonderful.
She'll step to the line, and as she does that, Carroll Athletics would like to thank our corporate champions for their incredible support of Saints Athletics and our incredible student athletes. That's Bowser's Lucky Dog Casino, Copper Club Casino, Point S Tire and Auto, Bill Roberts Golf Course, Delta Dental, Valley Bank, First Montana Bank, and Montana Television Network, and MontanaSports.com. Miss there from McDermott as the Vikings get it back. Here's a drive, free throw, laying up, no good. Foul called on the Saints. McDermott will get the call on that one. It's her second, and she'll head over for a rest as Kyle Olson will check in for her.
Valley City, they haven't had much success here today, but they play hard. You don't see any quit in them. The girls are hustling back on defense, trying to play hard defensively, trying to run their stuff. And it's a sign that they've bought into the program.
It makes it easier for us when both teams are still going at it.
Yeah.
Despite the score, it gives us a lot to talk about here on the air, so we really appreciate that. 54-20, 7:13 left in the contest. Wagner inside to Pickens. Pickens, nice easy lane to the hoop off the glass and good for 2. How about Jamie Pickens? 17 points on the contest today. Good ball movement here by Valley City State. Here's a drive. Nelson goes up with it, but she is fouled.
Nelson's got a nice crossover move. She'll start to the right and come back hard left, and the Carroll girls haven't quite figured that out.
So go to the line, so they got the foul on the shot there. Saints not yet in the bonus, but on their next foul they will be, as they now have 4 team fouls. First shot is up and good for Nelson. 56-21. And these 2 free throws are Valley City State's first 2 points of the quarter. And another shout out to Eric Anderson going solo on the stats today. Very impressive. I know how tough of a job that is even with 2 people. So tip of the cap to him as a 3-pointer goes up from Olsen. Off the rim, no good. And we got a jump ball. Possession arrow favoring the Vikings. So Valley City State will get it back. Coach Sayers call out, make some calls towards her defense out there. It's Denny, Olsen, Pickens, Wagner, and Hilborn on the court for Coach Sayers. Here's a drive, pull-up jumper, blocked by Pickens, and they're going to call a foul. That's all ball, man.
Yeah.
Wait, they got Wagner.
Oh, they got Wagner.
Well, before the shot.
Because it certainly wasn't on Jamie. Jamie got all ball.
I sure hope it wasn't on Jamie. Nielsen to the line. It's up and no good. Well, ball don't lie, huh?
Yeah.
How many times you heard me say that?
Yeah.
Second free throw is good. So she goes 1 for 2 at the stripe there. 6.5 minutes left. And don't forget, a couple more basketball games here on the Carroll Athletics YouTube channel tomorrow. Of course, we are at 2 and 4 today. Tomorrow we're at 12 and 2, starting with Valley City State versus MSU Northern. After that, of course, Carroll and LC State, as there's a corner 3 from Hilborn, and that one is no good. Olsen gets the rebound, though. Carroll gets it back, swings it around. It's Denny, drives, kicks. Hilborn taking her time. Now Olsen. Now Pickens. Pickens on the elbow. 7 on the shot clock. Wagner takes the jab, now dribbles, kicks it out. Olsen for 3, and that one's no good off the rim. Olsen going for her own rebound, and a collision there in the key as she knocks Critchley to the ground, then immediately helps her up.
I love to see it. I just love to see and Kyle Olsen.
She looks like she has a ton of fun out there.
She does, and she's just a classy girl, you know. Of course, I helped recruit her, but so I'm prejudiced, but she just, I just think her future, her basketball's ahead of her.
Yeah.
She's, you know.
No, we're going to graduate a lot of seniors this year with Christine and Jaden.
You know, though, Daniel, that brings up an interesting point. With the COVID, the NAI has given all these girls an extra year. So I'm not exactly sure how many of these girls are going to want to stay for another year, or
hopefully all of them.
Hopefully all of them, yes.
Second free throw good from Critchley. Hilborn will inbound. 5:45 left in the ball game. But I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
It really does make for an interesting topic of conversation because especially when you look at a school like Carroll that has so many people getting ready to go into either medical school or law school or all these different graduate programs.
Yep.
But Carroll, especially with how focused they are on the sciences, a lot of those pre-med students, if they can get themselves into medical school, they're probably going to take that opportunity.
Yeah, or nursing or PA, you know. A lot of these girls on the basketball team are in the health management where you can go either as a PA, physician's assistant, or you can go to physical therapy school, or you could go to nursing school. It's a great major.
Health science.
Yeah, health science, exactly. Thank you. Yep.
Tell you, it was one of very few comm majors on this campus a couple years ago. surrounded by science. Three-pointer up, no good, but a foul called on the Vikings, so the Saints will just inbound it and they'll keep it on their baseline. But I'm sure any of these seniors that Coach Sayers has this year, she'll welcome back with open arms. Emma Madsen, Jaden Lyman, Christine Denny, Molly McDermott. There's someone I'm missing to look over on that bench.
Oh, that's a great pass by Danny. Danny Wagner with a great pass. Breaking the press there, getting a 2-on-1. Well done, Danny.
One of my favorite parts of basketball is a nice clean press break. Very impressive. I also love a good full court press, but the press break is always very, very impressive to me. The substitution will come in. It's Danny Schwanke checking in for the Vikings.
Valley City basketball.
Well, obviously we hope they play out these last 5 minutes well, but I think it's safe to say a pretty strong showing from Carroll today. Yep. Schwanke gets the screen, goes to the corner. It's knocked out of bounds by Hilborn, especially on the defensive end, I might add, as Hilborn knocks that ball out.
You know, Valley City doesn't play that bad a defense. I mean, they're hustling. They play pretty hard. They get after it. They move their feet. It's just at the offensive end that they've struggled here tonight. Then it'll be interesting to see tomorrow if they don't play better at the offensive end. I would bet that they do.
I'm excited to see, it's a bounce back spot for them. As they, quick turnaround, get a good night's sleep, come back here, play at 12. I mean, this game's going to get over about 5:45, give or take. It's a nice move there by Hilborn.
Camden Hilborn on a drive, going to her left, under pressure, and somehow got that ball to go in. I don't know how.
Quick turnaround, though, for this Valley City State team. Game's going to end about next 5-10 minutes or so. They're going to go stay in Helena and come back here, and they're tipping off by noon. So, I mean, I imagine they'll probably be back in the gym warming up by 10:30.
Yeah.
So that's a quick turnaround, but I think they're going to be fired up to put on a better showing. So a 35-point Carroll lead, 60-25. That's your score. Olsen to inbound. Valley City coming out in that press. Christine Denny will pass it off to Olsen. Olsen off to Denny, back to Olsen. Olsen at the top of the key, setting up the offense. Now Wagner with the ball. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Jamie Pickens on the elbow. Nice backdoor pass to Wagner, up and under, and one. What a play.
Holy cow.
My, oh my.
That was beautiful.
A great cut, great pass, great finish.
On the press breaker before that, Wagner had made a great assist to Pickens, and that time Pickens had a great assist to Wagner, and that was just and it was a very nice finish by Danny. She had to really get some super spin on the ball to finish that.
Wagner's free throw, and that's what she's gotten so good at over the last couple years, is putting that English on the ball and she gets it off the glass. And she knocks it in just about every time.
Danny can finish.
Great player, great leader for this Carroll team, as there's a moving screen called on the Vikings. But Danny Wagner, I mean, there's a reason she wears that C on her warm-up shirt. I mean, she's captain, leader in all senses of the word. Full timeout called, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. But when we come back, final 3:44 of tonight's contest here, 63-25, Carroll leads. Back from the timeout, Daniel Sally here with Gary Turcotte, 63-25. 23-25. Saints in
Carroll's
the lead.
good.
Be Carroll basketball out of the timeout. Grandy inbounds, and Olsen will be the one taking up the court. Full court man-to-man defense being played here by the Vikings. Olsen pass it off to Wagner. Now Wilkinson. Now Wagner, nice move to the left. Wagner throws up a runner, no good. Rebounded by Pounds. Pass it up to Torres. Swanky. The wrong number there. He's swinging around. Now it's Torres with it near side. She drives, pulls it back, kicks it over to Pounds. Pounds drives, puts it up, no good. Rebound by the Saints. Nesson with a nice rebound as Eric.
Very nice, in traffic.
Playing off the bench right now for the Saints. 5 on the floor. It's Grendy, Nesson, Olsen, Wilkinson, and Wagner. Wilkinson on the elbow, gets it off to Rakaya Grendy. Grendy drives, puts up a mid-range jumper, no good. Rebounded by Valley City State. Entry pass, this time it's Ulmer with it, and she is fouled. That's Grandy's first personal foul.
Molly McDermott in for Carroll. Nia Ulmer at the line for 2.
So now Wagner will go to the bench. I assume that's probably all we've seen from Danny Wagner tonight. I think she's probably good.
You know, Daniel, Nia Ulmer, I think she's probably a junior college transfer too, but she's 6'4". So they've got Macy Kilvang 6'5", Nia Ulmer 6'4". I think, you know, they got a lot of transfers. They've got a lot of girls that aren't used to playing with each other, and that's probably some of their offensive problems tonight. But
with not a lot of practices too.
Yeah, and that makes it even worse.
Inbound pass to Nesson, who will get it across the court. Imagine States will take their time here as they will ride into the night with a victory here from the PE Center as McDermott has it in the corner. 2:09 remaining. Wilkinson for 3, and that one's no good, and that will go out of bounds. It'll go Valley City State basketball from the baseline. (63-26), Saints in the lead. Torres near side with it. He drives, pump fakes, pulls it down, kicks out to Pounds, swings it around, 3-pointer up. No good. That one was Taryn Dieterle, Last touch by the Vikings. It'll go out. Saints will inbound. And this game's about all but over, Coach.
Carroll's done an awfully nice job on the boards. We're going to look at I think we're going to be surprised at how completely Carroll has out-rebounded this Valley City team. I mean, like, we're going to be shocked, I think.
I tell you right now, Carroll does have 15 offensive boards, which is very impressive. There's a nice drive from Kyle Olsen, and she finishes in the lane. There's going to be some very impressive things from Carroll in this final stat rundown, and some things that they need to work on. So it's perfect. We'll have some highs and lows, peaks and valleys, as I like to say. The drive, shot's no good, but foul is drawn by Torres. And this is interesting. Torres going to the line here. She's got 6 rebounds on the game, but she hasn't scored yet.
Yeah, that's and this girl she's better than that. There she gets it going.
First free throw good for Torres. Yeah, she's averaging a little over 8 points a game coming into this one. Team's second leading scorer.
And 11 rebounds a game.
The second free throw is no good, so she makes one, misses the other. And it's a jump ball tie-up. Ball will stay with the Saints. Coach Sayers will call her press break as playing full court defense. Wilkinson gets it off the inbounds pass. Now Olsen to Grandy, center court. Grandy will slow it down now and get it out to Olsen. Now the Saints can slow it down, call their offense. Nesson to Wilkinson. Wilkinson off to Nesson. She drives, floater, and it's good. Nice bucket there for Erica Nesson. Pounds to the other end. A nice play by Nesson on the defensive end, but a little too much contact there. She'll get called for the foul. And we are in the bonus.
I think she took an elbow, too, right to the face.
Yeah, you can see her grabbing her nose. Pounds to the line. Like I said earlier, don't forget tomorrow, 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock. First game will be MSU Northern versus Valley City State. Second game, Carroll versus Lewis Clark State. And, of course, Coach Turcotte and I will have the call tomorrow. We're going to give up our college football Saturday to spend it here in the PE Center.
Watching hoops.
For you guys. So you guys can give up your college football to watch us tomorrow. It's a nice bucket there by Dieterle to draw the foul, have a chance at a three-point play. Valley City State showing some life still. Like you said, this team has a lot of good effort.
They haven't quit.
I think that's one thing. I mean,
yeah,
you can always take something away from a loss, and that's going to be their best takeaway tonight. Obviously, they haven't shot as well as they'd wanted to, but you got to be excited about the effort you show. Nesson saves the ball from going out of bounds, so she'll set up the offense. She loses it. And here's that effort again from Schwanke, playing good defense on Nesson. Game clock at 18, shot clock at 10. Now Wilkinson, 7 seconds on the shot clock. She finds Grandy cutting. Grandy off the glass, and it's good. 10 seconds on the clock, and that'll just about do it. Final score here from the PE Center will be 69-32. As a last-second bucket by Andrene Pounds. And that'll do it. So your final score, Carroll College 69, Valley City State 32. An impressive showing by Coach Sayers and her girls here at the PE Center. They're not going to be shaking hands, but they are going to give a wave to the Valley City State bench. We're going to step aside real quick and get the stats. And then when we come back, quick rundown, and then we'll go away from there. But Carroll wins 69-32. We'll be back here in about 60 seconds, give or take. Back here, quick little post-game show. Daniel Sally joined by Coach Gary Turcotte once again, and going to take a quick look at the stats. Total field goal percentage in the game, only looks like 9 of 46 final for Valley City State, 29 of 70 for the Saints, so 70 field goal attempts for Carroll. Valley City 1 of 14 from 3, Carroll 4 of 24 from 3, so not a great showing from either team from beyond the arc. From the free throw line, 13 of 23 for Valley City State, 7 of 10 for the Saints. And here's the number we were waiting for. The Saints out-rebounding Valley City State 55-31. That's something good to hang your hat on there. A lot of turnovers on both sides, 19 for Valley City, 16 for Carroll. But before we go, Gary, I mean, any final thoughts, anything that really grabbed your attention?
Well, I think Daniel, we got winners tomorrow. You know, LC State won impressively over Northern. Carroll won impressively over Valley State. We get to see winners play tomorrow. And it'll be interesting to see how much Northern improves, how much Valley City improves, after their first ball game. And then I just think it's going to be a great match tomorrow night between Carroll and LC State. Two teams picked to win their conference. Both of them picked to win their conference. And we get to watch it, and we get to broadcast it to folks.
Isn't that great?
It is.
Nothing better. Thanksgiving weekend basketball, one of my favorite things in the entire world. So, 69-32. Hope everyone back home is enjoying their leftovers. I know I'm getting ready to go do the same. Any final thoughts, though, Gary, or just excited to come back tomorrow?
Well, it was a good, solid effort. The last two ball games, Carroll has been able to blow out their opponents, play a lot of kids. They got a lot of girls in that program that are good enough to play, and it's fun to see them all get in and play that many minutes. I don't think they'll be able to do that as much tomorrow. I think tomorrow there could be a much closer ball game, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, thank you for joining me today, Gary. I appreciate it.
You
It's
bet,
always
Daniel.
fun to work together. And thanks again to everyone back home listening. We'll be back here tomorrow, 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock, of course. First off being Valley City State versus Northern, and the finale of Carroll versus LC State, the long-anticipated rematch from last season. So for Gary Turcotte, I'm Daniel Sally signing off. Saints win 69-32. Thanks again for tuning in.